Assalamu alaikum dear students. In the last lecture of chapter 4, Laws of Motion, we have discussed the motion is nothing but the change with time of the position or orientation of a body. Motion along a line or a curve is called translational motion. Motion that changes the orientation of a body is called rotation. In both cases, all points in the body have the same velocity, that is the directed speed, and the same acceleration, that is the time rate of change of velocity. The most general kind of motion combines both translational and rotation. And now we come to know that all motions are relative to some frame of reference. A system of coordinates of an observer used to describe any motion is called frame of reference. The frame of reference may be inertial or non-inertial frame of reference. Inertial frame of reference is the one in which Newton's first law of motion holds good. If Newton's first law of motion holds good in one frame of reference, then it also holds good in any other frame of reference, at rest or with uniform motion with respect to this frame of reference. A frame of reference in which the Newton's first law of motion or law of inertia does not hold good is called non-inertial frame of reference. The non-inertial frames of reference have accelerated motion with respect to inertial frame of reference. Now, the next topic we have types of forces. Let's see. First types of forces is fundamental forces in nature. All the forces in nature are classified into 4 interactions that are termed as fundamental forces. That means the fundamental forces in nature are classified into 4 types, namely, first, gravitational force, second, electromagnetic force, third, a strong nuclear force, and fourth, weak nuclear force. Now let's have the first fundamental forces in nature, that is gravitational force. Let us take a very common example. If we throw a body upwards, it falls back to the earth after covering certain distance. This shows that the earth exerts a force of attraction on a body. The existence of the force of attraction between a body and the earth is universal, and this force is called gravitational force of attraction. On the basis of the calculations of ratio of acceleration of the moon towards the earth to that of a falling body near the earth's surface, Newton found that the acceleration is inversely proportional to the square of the distance from the center of the earth, and stated the law of universal gravitation. So we come to know that the gravitational force is the attractive force between the two, we can say, the point masses separated by a distance. And the magnitude of the gravitational force between the point masses, which we are considering as m1 and m2, which is separated by a distance r, is given by the Newton's law of gravitation. And hence, as per the Newton's law of gravitation, it states that every particle of matter attracts every other particle with a force whose magnitude is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them, and is independent of the medium. And this force is directed along the line joining the center of the two particles. So we are considering m1 and m2 be the masses of the two particles separated by a distance r apart. The magnitude of the force of attraction called as the gravitational force of attraction, which is given by F is equal to G m1 m2 upon r square, where G is constant, which is called as the universal constant of gravitation. And the value of G is given as 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. Between two point masses or particles separated by a given distance, this gravitational force is the weakest force having an infinite range, and also this force is always attractive. Its structure of the universe is governed by this force. Other characteristics of the gravitational force is given as this force is always attractive and applicable for microscopic and macroscopic bodies. Its range is unlimited and it is very weak force as compared to other forces. That means we are comparing the gravitational force with electromagnetic force, its strong nuclear force and weak nuclear force. So when we are comparing the gravitational forces with other forces, so it is to be found that the gravitational force is the weakest force in nature. And by using the Newton's law of gravitation, we can say that it obeys inverse square law of distance, as the force of attraction between the particles of matter is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So we can say that the gravitational force of attraction obeys the inverse square law of distance, and it does not depend on any intervening medium. The examples of gravitational force we can give: the motion of moon, artificial satellites around the earth, and the motion of planets around the sun, that is due to the gravitational force of attraction. The second example, we can give the concept of weight of a body in the earth's gravitational field is due to the gravitational force exerted by the earth on a body. That is our common experience of this force. The gravitational force exerted by the earth on us, which we call as our weight, which we are denoting by W, and hence W is given as G m m upon r square, where capital M and capital R represents the mass and radius of the earth. G is the gravitational constant and small m is the mass of the body on the earth's surface. So over here, the force of attraction between the two bodies having the mass capital M, which is the mass of the earth, and small m, which is the mass of the body, and these are separated by a distance that is given as the radius of the earth there. So as per the Newton's law of gravitation, the force of attraction which is exerted by the earth on us, which we are called as weight, is G m m upon r square there. Hence here we are taken the constant terms in the bracket, capital G, capital M and capital R. These are the constant values, where G is the gravitational constant. The value of G we are using as 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. The value of M, which is the mass of the earth, is 6 into 10 raised to 24 kilogram. And radius of the earth, we are using the value as 6.4 into 10 raised to 6 meter there. So the values of the constant G, M and R, we know, that's why we are writing it in a bracket, and it is to be now denoting as small g, which represents the acceleration due to gravity. So here we are getting the weight which we feels on the earth's surface is equal to m into g, and here we come to know that this W, which is nothing but the force of attraction exerted by the earth on the body on ourself, it is nothing but the force of attraction. As force, we are writing mathematically as the product of mass and acceleration. So for the weight, it is also the product of mass and acceleration, where this acceleration is nothing but the acceleration due to gravity there. So the value of the acceleration due to gravity or gravitational acceleration can be determined by considering the values of the constant involved in the formula for G, as G is equal to Gm upon R square. So we can determine the value of G as capital G universal gravitational constant is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. M is the mass of the earth, which is 6 into 10 raised to 24 kilogram, and R is 6.4 into 10 raised to 6 meter. So here we have to substitute the values and calculate it. So G into M upon R square, the value we have written, and after the calculation we are getting the ratio as 9.8, and the unit of gravitational acceleration is meter per second square. So the value of small g we are getting as 9.8 meter per second square, which is nothing but called as the gravitational acceleration. The distance between ourselves and earth is taken as radius of the earth when we are on the earth's surface of the earth, because our size is negligible as compared to the radius of the earth there. Now we feel this force only due to the normal reaction from the surface of our contact with earth, as we are on the earth's surface and earth exerts the force of attraction on our body, so that we are feeling the weight of our body there. So the feel which we are getting over here because of the force of attraction exerted by the earth on our body there. So we feel this force only due to the normal reaction from the surface of our contact with the earth there. Now next, also all individual bodies also exert gravitational force on each other, but it is too small compared to that by the earth. That means every individual bodies on the earth's surface is also exerting the gravitational force between them, but that force is too small when we are comparing the gravitational force exerted by the earth on each individual bodies there. For example, the mutual gravitational force between the two sumo wrestlers, each of mass 300 kg, assuming the distance between them is 0.5 meter, it will be, as we are using the formula F is equal to G m1 m2 upon r square. So the value of G is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. The mass of the wrestlers is given as 300 kg. So m1 and m2, both the masses are of 300 kg. So here we are supposed to write as 300 into 300. It is divided by r square. The distance between the two wrestlers is given as 0.5 meter. So here we have to take it as 0.5 square. Now when we are solving this ratio, we are getting the force of attraction between the two wrestlers is 2.4 into 10 raised to minus 5 Newton, or we can say that it is 24 micronewton there. Now here the gravitational force between the two wrestlers we are finding as 24 micronewton when the mass of each wrestler is 300 kg and they are separated by a distance of 0.5 meter. This force is negligibly too small in comparison to the weight of each sumo wrestlers, that is nearly about 3000 Newton. That means when we are considering the gravitational force exerted by the earth on each wrestler. So it is to be found around 3000 Newton. But when we are taking the gravitational force between the two wrestlers there, then we are getting the value of force of attraction is 24 micronewton. So means to say that the gravitational force is also exerting on all individual bodies, but it is too small to compare that by the gravitational force exerted by the earth on each individual bodies there. So here we have discussed about gravitational force. Now the next fundamental forces in nature is electromagnetic force. Electromagnetic force is an attractive or repulsive force between electrically charged particles. The force between the two charges at rest is called electrostatic force, and force between the two magnetic poles is called magnetic force. We know that when charge is moving, it produces magnetic field, and moving charges in the magnetic field experiences a magnetic force there. In this, forces involved are nothing but called as electromagnetic force. The forces between electric charges in relative motion are called as electromagnetic forces. These forces not only depends on charges carried by two bodies, but also on the magnitude and direction of their velocities. So over here the force which holds together the atoms and molecules of a body is called electromagnetic force. Now earlier electric and magnetic forces were thought to be independent. After the demonstration by Michael Faraday and James Clerk Maxwell, electric and magnetic forces were unified through and the theory of electromagnetism was given. These forces are stronger than the gravitational force. As we had discussed in the gravitational force, that gravitational force is weakest force in nature. So over here, in comparison with the gravitational force and electromagnetic force, it is to be found that the electromagnetic forces are stronger than gravitational force. Our life is practically governed by these forces. Majority of the forces experienced in our daily life, such as force of friction, normal reaction, tension in the strings, collision forces, elastic forces, viscosity, etc., are electromagnetic in nature. Under the action of these forces, there is deformation of objects that changes intermolecular distances, thereby resulting into reaction forces. We can give the characteristics of the electromagnetic forces as these forces are attractive or repulsive in nature, and also electromagnetic forces are stronger than that of the gravitational forces, and these electromagnetic forces also obeys inverse square law of distance, but they depends on the intervening medium. And also the electromagnetic forces are long range force. The examples of the electromagnetic force we can give: the frictional force is produced due to the attractive forces between the atoms of the two bodies on the opposite sides of the actual area of contact. So this is one of the example of electromagnetic force. The second example we can give, like when current flows through two parallel conductors, a magnetic field is produced by one of the conductor and magnetic force acts on the other conductor. If the direction of the current flowing through the conductors is same, they attract each other. whereas when the currents are flowing in opposite directions, they repel each other. Electric motors use the electromagnetic force between a magnet and a current carrying coil to produce movement. Electric generators use the electromagnetic force between a magnet and a moving coil to generate electrical energy. Loudspeaker use an electric current flowing through a coil to generate a magnetic field. So these are some examples of electromagnetic force. Now the next fundamental force we have is strong nuclear force. In order to explain the stability of an atom, we have to consider the existence of fundamental force which is called as nuclear force. Here the nuclear force is to be divided as strong nuclear force and weak nuclear force. Two types of the nuclear forces are there. The force of strong interaction, which binds protons and neutrons in the nucleus of an atom, is called as a strong nuclear force. And the force of weak interaction, which results in the decay of many unstable nuclei, is called weak nuclear force. So let's see first of all the strong nuclear force, as this is the strongest force that binds the nucleon together inside a nucleus. As we know that nucleons are nothing but protons and neutrons which are there in a nucleus of the atom, protons and neutrons which binds together is said to be the because of some force which is called as the strong nuclear force. Though strongest, it is a short range force. That is the range of the strong nuclear force which will be up to the nucleus of an atom. The size of the nucleus we are considering about 10 raised to minus 14 meter. That's why the strong nuclear force is said to be the short range force. It will limit still 10 raised to minus 14 meter only. The range will be within 10 raised to minus 14 meter. Therefore, it is very strong attractive force and is charge independent. It doesn't matter what is the charge of the particles there. It is charge independent and only the force of attraction will be there, because of which all the protons and neutrons bind together in the nucleons, and that force of attraction is said to be the strong nuclear force. As we know that protons repel each other as per the Coulomb's law of charges. For example, there are the two protons in a nucleus. As both the protons are positively charged particles, so as per the Coulomb's law, the force of repulsion should be there. To overcome this repulsive force between the protons and to bind both the protons and neutrons into a very small nuclear volume, there should be a strong attractive nuclear force between the neutrons and protons, which binds all the protons and neutrons together in the nucleus there. The new kind of this force between the nucleons, which holds all the protons and neutrons inside the nucleus and makes the atom stable, is called as a strong nuclear force. We can give the characteristic of the strong nuclear force as strong nuclear force is attractive and short range. The range is given up to nearly about 10 raised to minus 14 meter. It is the strongest force in nature, and also the strong nuclear force do not obey inverse square law of distance. The strong nuclear force are charge independent. The force between proton and proton, neutron and neutron, and proton and neutron have the same magnitude. that is not affected by nature of charge. So this is all about the strong nuclear force. The next fundamental forces in nature is weak nuclear force. The force of weak interaction which results in the decay of many unstable nuclei is called as weak nuclear force. This is the interaction between subatomic particles that is responsible for radioactive decay of atoms, in particular beta emission. As the radioactivity takes place, alpha particles, beta particles and gamma rays are to be emitted in this process. It occurs because of the weak interaction between the particles which results in the decay of many unstable nuclei. And this weak interaction is called as weak nuclear force. The weak nuclear force is not as weak as the gravitational force, but much weaker than the strong nuclear and electromagnetic forces. The weak nuclear force is also range up to the order of 10 raised to minus 16 meter. That means we can say that it is also a short range force. And hence the characteristic of weak nuclear force we can give like it acts between any two elementary particles. It is much weaker than the strong nuclear force or electromagnetic force. And hence we can say that the gravitational force is weakest force in nature. And its range is very short of the order of the size of nucleus. And hence in fusion or fission, a nuclear force plays very important role to produce nuclear energy. So this is about the weak nuclear force and hence the nuclear forces. So we have discussed about fundamental forces in nature. As 4 fundamental forces are there: gravitational force, electromagnetic force, strong nuclear force and weak nuclear force. The other types of forces we will study next time, and hence the chapter will be continue next time in the next lecture. Thank you.